Hey friends, how's it going? Rockley Smile here. I hope you're staying cool, staying safe from the heat and COVID and all the other things that might be problematic in your life. I hope you're doing okay. I know, it's a lot going on. So I've been working on getting better at Overwatch, as has been my lifelong goal, apparently, for the last few years. My really big bucket list item is to reach Diamond in Ranked, and I think part of doing that involves watching your replays, trying to process what went right and what went wrong, and I think a really healthy way of approaching that is to try and look at the game from multiple perspectives. This is about building game sense. It's about building a huge, wrinkled-ass Overwatch brain, which is very important. You need to be able to put yourself in the roles of everyone around you, think about what they're meant to be doing, what they're going to be doing, try and predict them. I mean, it works in your favor in both directions, so there's really nothing wrong with looking back at your replays. And so today what I wanted to do with you all, if you don't mind, is to go through a few perspectives and points of view on a particularly good game. Well, it felt like it was a very good game from my perspective, and the thing is, I can kind of go through and find the little failure points where things start to break apart and look a little bit rough. And I was very surprised, actually, to see all the things that I didn't see, given my perspective. So this is a game of defense on Hollywood. And there we are. I'm going to be playing Sigma for this game, and we have a dual tank setup of Sigma and Orisa. It's just quick play classic, so it's nothing too crazy. Low pressure game, but I felt like everyone played pretty well. Some people played better than others, to be fair. And upon rewatching the replay, where I thought I was doing particularly well, I might have been doing okay, but as it turns out, actually, our Ana was doing incredibly well. Our Doomfist was feeding a little bit, and some of their team was not playing particularly well, but I didn't actually see a lot of that because of all the little micro plays going on. So we've got our two tanks, as I mentioned. We've got Doom, we've got Hanzo, and we've got a third DPS in the form of Widow, and only one healer in the form of Ana. As I said, she does particularly well. I'm going to go ahead and start playing that so we can get going. You'll see a few of the enemy team haven't picked their characters yet, but yeah, they're popping in now. Try and watch ahead if you can. See if you can predict some of the things that I'm going to mention when we get around to those points. See if you see those misplays that are then going to get highlighted down the road. I don't know if we'll do every person's perspective, but given that this is like a pretty short game, we should be able to do at least a few, and although it might seem a little repetitious, I think it's useful to go and highlight some of those points as they happen. So I'm setting up. I'm noticing our Widow is about to take some pot shots into the spawn, so I'm going to give her a shield for the time being. I'm not a particularly amazing Sigma, by the way. I really have very few hours on him, and you'll notice I do neglect my shield sometimes. Not this time. I pull it back. So our Widow gets freaking dunked on. So we've got a huge bunch of crap pushing in right now. We've got a lot of pressure coming from the right. I focused a little too long on the left side, so I thought maybe I could help the Widow out. Unfortunately, she got sniped by the soldier. But basically, I've got a Reaper in my face and a soldier coming in. That's not good for me. So we're going to want to hand out, back off, and hope that I can get behind that Orisa shield. I do pull it off. All is well. Our Reaper goes for a teleport. He's going to go up to where Ana is, which is on the high ground. And he's going to move in, go for a shot on her. She, thankfully, is very good. She's got, like, a platinum border. She's probably got a lot of hours on Ana and seems to react very well. Not to mention, everybody turns to focus this situation. You see our Hanzo at the bottom as well has turned around to focus the Reaper. So everybody knows what's going on, which is a huge factor when you're playing a team game. Everybody actually is trying to pay attention to where the pressure's coming from and thinking about what the enemy is trying to do with that given moment. He's very low HP, so he gets cleaned up, no problem. Orisa just turns and burns him down, no problem. All right, so we got a new shield down, pressuring their front line again, trying to stay in their shield. We'll do shield trade-offs. Unfortunately, I neglect my shield there, and it gets busted. It's a bad plays on my part, I know. This is something that I didn't really think about because I tunnel visioned in the moment, so that ball's just going to get away a bunch. This is what ball does, unless you have somebody to CC him, which technically we do. We have, well, me, because I can boulder him for one, and Ana can sleep him, and in fact, I think she gets some good sleeps off later. I don't know if they're on the ball necessarily, but she gets some good ones in. just 2 straight contact shots on the Moira, no problem. All right, then we're pushing back on the ball. He gets freaking down to 1, and he's gone around. I'm going to stupidly go after him. This is what all balls want you to do. Don't play their game. Let them get wrecked on their own. We're going to look at that Doom play later. He freaking lets that ball get away, which is a crime. It's actually awful. You'll see how silly it looks from Doom's perspective. So ball's coming in again. He's just doing ball stuff. This is what they do. They want to get in, they want to mess with you, they want to distract the front line, make sure that you get messed up. And see, I almost played his game again. He was going to lead me away from the team. This would have been a huge mistake. We got our supercharger out. Our Bongo's getting dove pretty hard. Their Orissa's won, though. She's going to go down about 1 second. But if our Ana was not on the ball right now, this could have been a disastrous moment where things really get turned. Thankfully, Orissa's shield goes down. I got my shield back in. Soldiers dutifully shooting that shield, and it's not good enough. They get wrecked. And so this fight's over. There's just cleanup now. We'll just wait and see. So Doom's going to try and finish off the Moira. The Moira freaking teleports away, and I get just the edge of my shot there. Doom does not make it out, though. Not the best cooldown usage. He should have been able to punch out of that, but oh well. Unlucky, as they say. Going to give our Widow another shot with her shield. Ball's coming back in. And they're all just going to group up right on that corner, which is great when they pile in like that. Huge AoE damage throwing my balls around. Our Ana was very wise to see. I think I was low HP there, right? I'm just going to back up 10 seconds. I think I got pushed super hard as we backed around. Yeah, so it's... Oh, okay. So what I think the trigger was there is she saw the McCree push past the shield, assumed I was about to take the flashbang, and probably was like, nah, not going to happen. Nanoed. And so I was thinking, like, do we throw in the ult on that, or do we kind of give it another moment? I probably waited too long and my window passed there, but it didn't matter anyway. I'm a little bit floundering with this Tracer. As you can see, our whole team is having trouble nailing her because she's freaking bouncing around like mad. As she should be doing, really. 2 solid contact shots on the Moira. I thought I could jump through that tree because I'm a dumbass. I don't know what I was doing there. And then they get cleaned up beautifully by our Widow. If you notice, look in the kill cam, or the kill feed, she's got both of them headshot. And then their Widow comes and cleans us up, unfortunately. We'll see that from her perspective later. By the way, I encourage you heavily to criticize my gameplay as well as anyone else. I want to improve quite badly, in fact. So if you see things that I'm not calling out that are obvious that you see, tell me. So we'll all be kind of working on each other in this respect if you are so inclined. So, of course, we do have the benefit of having replay viewer sightlines, so I know that they're pushing over there. I wouldn't know that in the game. I mean, I would because I saw them go in that direction, but I don't know their exact outlines where the Moira is, like you can see right there. And the fact that I think that's Brig pushing in. That Brig and the Moira seem to stick together quite a bit. I wonder, are they in a duo, rather. So we just freaking nail that. I kind of neglected to mention what happened there. So the ball committed his ult on what is kind of like an empty point. I don't know if this is just a confirmed space or what, but everybody shifted out of the way pretty nicely, except for our unfortunate Widow, who just gets caught up in the shot there and really had no chance of getting out because she, I think, had already burned her grapple. So I just go ahead and push my shield through. It actually lived on 1 HP. My shield had literal 1 HP, actually 1. And then, no problem, we just clean up those, get them out of there. So Coalescence is in, got a fat nade off. We're going to lift up and get hooked, unfortunately. I'm just going to hand out of that. Not interested in playing Hog's game. Thankfully, our Orisa shield has been a really great synergy here. I freaking tunnel vision. I could have gotten that Widow shot so easily. I don't know if you saw how low she was. She'll watch for the stairs there. She's going to show up in the stairs with very low HP. All I had to do was freaking focus her for 1 second on the right. Just one ball in her direction, she was toast. But I freaking didn't. I didn't turn. These are the things that in the moment you're focused on a slightly different point of view. You're looking down range instead of focusing in. And stuff like that, well, you know, this is how you get better. You start to notice those things and then actively grab them when they're in the moment. So they have a Sigma. That's fine. He's handing early. I don't know what he's doing there. Some people say suck. I don't know why I say hand. I don't know what that is. So just do the same move as before. That time I was legit looking low, and Ana saved me again. Because our Ana is a freaking MVP. I've been playing a lot of Ana lately. I love that hero. She's so fun. Some games are terrible. Oh, see, that was just embarrassing. I was freaking jittering because I was, like, panicked about hitting her. Some Anas just are freaking carries, and other Anas, it's like, given the game or the exact way that the comp goes, it doesn't turn out right, and you just kind of end up getting dove on too much. I'm not great at 1v1 still. You need to be able to duel well. But just landing huge nades is massive. So we're just pressuring their front line back. No problem. We got a couple off of that tire. We got one of their healers down, which is pretty solid. Went for the res. There's no way I could contest the res, unfortunately. It was happening a little too far away. And they're on their last push, so they're going to go hard. You have to expect whatever ults are left are coming out now. And you better do yours as well. And we just cleaned them up like no problem. The Hanzo actually got the kill on the Mercy there. It looked like I was about to get the Pharah and the Mercy together in my ult. And I had the zoning, and then Hanzo comes in and just kills them both. No problem, I'll take it. It's a team game, man. You can't stress about that. Whoever gets the kill, it's for the best. And then we just nail that Echo. All right, so that's the first perspective you want to see. It was great. It was a good game. I enjoyed that game. Very little toxicity as well, which I appreciated. We had a couple levers on the enemy team, I think, that got frustrated, namely their Tracer, which I know this happens. It's just quick play. It doesn't really matter that much. But there was nobody yelling at each other in the chat, and I respect it. I love it. I want this game to be more wholesome because it's so gratifying when everybody's playing at their best and they care about each other's team interactions. They want to keep each other alive because it's fun to play together, to work your synergies off of each other. That's when this game really shines, and I wish more people could get into that mindset. And I'm sorry you're staring at Widow's booty for this long. We're going to go on to our Ana this time, because I want you to see some of the freaking amazing shots that she pulls off. I shouldn't probably hype her up this much. That's not Ana at all. There's Ana. It's not that she hit every single shot, but she knew where to look and where to focus her attention at each moment that was going by. And this is what we really need to think about when we're trying to get better. Where do I want to put my attention that'll get us the most value for our character? Apparently one of us is still in spawn. I didn't notice that before. They're still learning new things as I'm watching this back. And I've already watched this back almost through everyone's perspective because I thought this was a really interesting exercise to do. So she's set up on the high ground. She's cleared off all of the garbage. She's gotten rid of all the railings. She's gotten rid of all the chairs. Of course, we had a spray over there, which is great news. Means she's a pro MVP, as we'll see. So you really want to get all that crap out of your way. I think you all know this already. It's nothing new. But sometimes people leave the chairs and just get rid of the railing. I like the chairs gone, too. So she went for the save on the Widow. You know, fair play. You're not going to hit it every time. Reaction was slightly too slow. I don't know if she even could have hit it. It was very quick. The Widow also missed her grapple. If she was just aimed slightly higher, she would have gotten over the roof peak and then wouldn't have gotten stuck there and powered down, which I think she just would have lived then, but it doesn't end up mattering. So, fat nade on the... Well, I shouldn't say fat nade, but, you know, it's a nade. Hits the hamster. She perfectly reacts to that situation. Well, as close to perfectly as she could given her cooldowns. Reaper comes in. We're going to watch it and pause it. Reaper comes in on the left right now. She didn't catch it the first moment it was available to see, but... So she already had fired off her sleep. That would have been the play, to sleep him as soon as he comes out of his teleport. But no problem. Correct reaction. Get a shot in, pivot down, fall with the team. That's all you can do in that situation, right? Both her cooldowns are up. His health is already very low, and we've all turned to focus him. So if he managed to get the kill off on the Ana, I mean, he would have earned it at that point. Cool. And she even had the preemptive melee and a goodbye. I don't know if we needed a nade there, did we? What was her health at? Oh, 86. Okay, she grabs the mini, right? I guess she just wanted to be sure. Because she's the only healer, keep in mind. So actually, fair play to her for using the nade there. I hate defensive nades if they're only on one target. I mean, I prefer that all of them go in on the enemy as much as possible, because those antis are huge. They're fight-winning cooldowns. So to use them just to heal is normally kind of egregious, but in this case, it's the only healer on our team, so, you know, you live and you learn, it's fine. Not even live and learn. You do your best with that, and she needed to do that to stay alive. You want your Ana at full health, because the longer she's up there healing us, the better we're all at. She took a shot on that, fair enough. Didn't get the hit on it, but, you know, it's pretty close, actually. So now we're getting a nade in on the 2 tanks. She's focusing the tanks pretty hard, which is kind of what I like to see. The DPS... Oh, so sweet. Oh, you love to see it. That sleep was freaking buttery goodness. I want to see that again. I need to set this on 5 seconds instead of 10. So heal, heal, heal. DPS are fine, keeping up. She notices the teleport right now. She's going to pivot. She knows the timing exactly when the Reaper can be hit in his collision as well. A lesser Ana would have fired that slightly sooner or slightly later, and he would have moved or he wouldn't have been there yet. And perfect. Now our Widow lines up a headshot. And she doesn't even... The Ana doesn't even need to give any more attention. She's done. The Widow took care of it. She was confident in her abilities. She just moves on. Back to healing. That's what you love to see. And there's a couple of times this Ana immediately starts focusing back on healing, even when there was an easy confirm. She just lets it go, because the healing is what actually keeps the team up. It's so tempting. Oh, she... She was really tunnel-visioned on hitting that sleep on the ball, and the Widow came flying at her with low health and just, you know, whatever. She actually keeps her up, to be fair. Oh, look at this. You love a ball at 1 HP. It's the greatest feeling in life when ball dies. Alright, just a couple no-scope shots. Just some casual heals. Get a spray in there. Very good. I love it. So she's got her nano ready to go. Look at this. The sleep is in. He's ZZ'd. And then our Hanzo shows up like a freaking angel from heaven. Notice the Widow in the background, too. Everybody knows what's going on. There's no communication in this game. Everybody just knew. This is just a pickup game. Nobody was in comms with each other. There's no voice chat this whole game. I don't know if there was on the enemy team. I'm kind of gonna guess probably not. But they were ready to go. She doesn't even turn around. That ball is slept. He is dead. Moving on. Let's heal. Oh, I love it. If we could get a team like this every time I played Overwatch, I would be so happy. I would play this game 24/7 and probably hate myself more. But for now, we'll just hate ourselves as much as we need to. No? What do you think? If that was comp, I'd be like 1% frustrated that she did that because she completely took her eyes off the front line, but we're in quick play. I gotta get over it. I thought it was cute, actually. The two of them were just having a little moment together. And I didn't see that at all because I was facing down the front line there, as you can see from this perspective. It's just kind of cute to see that. I don't know, maybe they were playing together, too. You never know what's going on in the background. So she's put the nano in on me, which means she's now free to not think about healing me, which is great. She's actually dividing her attention amongst both tanks equally, with the only thing she can really use, the only tool she's got to make that happen. So that means in this particular case, despite all the pressure coming in, oh, I say all the pressure, it's like literally just ball. I think their brig is going around the back on the right. Yeah, she's free to just straight up heal her Orisa, and that's all. Get a couple shots in on Hanzo, he's looking okay. Yep, and then the nade just freaking nukes down the Tracer, which we were having a little trouble dueling, to be fair. And I mean, Hanzo dueling a Tracer is like not the best. I mean, all you really want in that case is just a McCree to flashbang or a Brig to shield basher, and unfortunate. That's all we need to say about that. We already highlighted that before. All right, she got a little nervous there. I've done this a million times. You hear a Junkrat down below you, you're like, oh, who's there? But yeah, the footsteps were notably in the like 20% volume category instead of the like 160% volume, which the enemy footsteps have. To be fair, I don't know how a Junkrat would have ever flanked that far, but we're not thinking this deep into it. We're just reactionarily moving. That's all that was. If he could have maybe mined around the back and then gotten below us, and maybe just she took her attention away and didn't notice it. Oh! So sick! Oh, so sick. I love it. Now, you might have even seen that and gone, how the hell did she do that? As I first did when I first saw it. But you gotta watch, she's reacting off the echo arrow, or the sonar arrow off the Hanzo there. So right there, you see he just turned dark red. That's when it transforms from wireframe that's only we're seeing through the replay to Ana now has vision. So at this point, she sees McCree, and she knows his path, because it's the same path you can go through every time. The only way he would have foiled this is if he stopped in the middle. She immediately swaps her attention to him. She's already pulled out her sleep dart before he's even moved into her view. And it lands so sweet. Oh my god. And the Hanzo's there to confirm it. Love it. I know this is probably not even a big deal if you play in, like, Diamond and above, but I've been sweating it out in, like, Silver, Gold, Platinum now for a year plus. Oh, it's miserable. I just want games like this. I just want healers I can depend on. I want tanks I can depend on. I want DPS that know what they're doing. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to blame the rest of the team. It's not about that. It's about getting better. It's about noticing what everybody's up to and using that information as best you can. It's such a trap to get frustrated. Oh, that nade was sick. Did you see that? I think we got 3 off of that. Wait, was it only 2? It might have only been 2, actually. It looked sick, though. It, like, landed right near the middle of it. Oh, unfortunate. What can you do? Echo got a good line. These things happen. I think that's the first death. Sorry, I'm tunnel visioned a little now. I forget if she's died already. No matter. I mean, it is awkward when your only healer dies in the midst of what could have been a push. But the enemy team has been so fractured, it's been, like, really kind of hard to predict what a push is at any given moment. Which is good for us. That's great. We want that. You know, she tried. Still got the... Oh, she didn't get the kill. But she knew enough to nade and back off. That's smart. Stay alive. Your team needs you. There, she gets the kill now. This is smart play. A lesser Ana would have pushed in somewhere or not moved away. You need to be evasive. You need to stay alive because the heals are more important than a kill. Think of all the kills we could get if our team's alive. You know? I don't know what happened there. That sleep looked like it hit, but I actually want to see that again. So the hog moves forward. Sleep goes out. Oh, it's like slightly too high, maybe? Oh, you know, I think it did hit. Wait, but it hit in the midst of his hook. I don't really understand that interaction, actually. What happens if a hog has his hook out, gets slept? Does the hook evaporate? No, because he pulled me. That looked like it hit. Yeah, I don't know. That's one of those little micro plays that I don't really understand how it interacts still. Given I've got 1,100 hours in this game, which is sad that my play is as bad as it is, I know. There are still little tiny things that you don't always catch because they're just too subtle. And actually, that's what this kind of stuff is going to improve for you. Watching every hero and how they play. Because you might get a meta sense of how the game is progressing. You might know what the Ana is doing moment to moment on a very general basis. But you're not actually seeing those little interactions all the time. You're not even questioning that they're happening. You just have them happen in your face and you move on, and it's like too much information overload. But she had her attention in the right place almost every time. You gotta respect it. That was great work. MVP, for sure. Going back one more time. We're gonna do one more from our perspective. I want to show you the Doomfist, because he's actually a little questionable. And I want to show you, this is probably the weakest link we had, and I'm not trying to downplay. In fact, there's some things that he did that were actually really good, too. So he's showing us some tech there, bouncing over the rooftop. And using that to kind of warp his way around. pseudo warp as Doomfist. So this is not an uncommon setup. You want to get to the back line, let them push ahead, and then you come out and surprise them. He's making sure he's not getting flanked in case somebody saw, because he did jump in front of their spawn. I don't know why they didn't see him, to be fair. So that was kind of frustrating. I want to pause there. So he chooses to dive the Brig. Brig's in. He dives down, uppercuts her. Why is this up? Get that out of there. Uppercuts her, and then what is the typical Doom move is to uppercut, and then what? Left click, left click, left click. Instead, he chooses to burn his only escape route cooldown with a punch. Why didn't he just left click? And she very wisely chooses to shield bash him, which, I don't know, still probably would have interrupted him anyway unless he killed her before that shield bash came out. Now, of course, Doom being Doom, he's at more than his maximum health, because that's just how he rolls. But he takes, I think, another really awkward move after that, which is to then back away from us. Look, he's got a little safety refuge, remember, we're blue. There's a shield right there. And he just was so consumed by bloodlust that he needed to go fight this Brig away from the team. But he could have easily lived. Instead, he dives further and further into them, thinking he's just gonna, like, wait out his cooldowns, maybe. I don't know. That was a rough start. That was kind of feeding. Again, I'm not trying to hate on him. It's fine. We all make mistakes. In the moment, things just happen sometimes, but I didn't know that happened to the degree that it did. I saw he was out of position, but I didn't realize he was just kind of committing wrongly multiple times. All right, so what's the play now? We're going to take a shot at this ball. No, we're switching attention a lot. Okay, he's already dead. We're suffering from information overload. Oh! Did you see the ball? That was what I said before. The ball was one. Like, actual one. You can't even see the health on his health bar. Ah! Okay, well, ball's got some shield back. Off he goes into Narnia. Classic ball. And now we're just going to wait over here. That's unfortunate that we couldn't get a shot in on him, but, you know, that's fine. He'll just have full health in another 1 second anyway. Okay, so he's waiting for the push in and punch move again. He notices there's a Tracer who backdashes. You know, their Tracer actually isn't that bad. Unfortunately, the Tracer leaves. We'll watch from her perspective at one point, too. All right, sick punch. Good job. Yep, confirm that soldier. That's what we love. Oh, and then a follow-up on the Moira, who happened to step away. This is a little awkward. She nearly gets out. He's just struggling. That's the Moira that I managed to barely kill at the end of my range. And he's overcommitted, so yeah, multiple times he's not been aware of his breakpoints, of where his health is about to drop off, about where they're about to pressure, about where he's safe and where he's not, what his cooldowns are. There's a lot of lack of awareness going on with Doom. As I said, though, he makes a really good decision, which is to realize he's not getting as much value as he could on this hero, and actually swaps to Junk, which is an asset to us, because there's a ball on the other team. Alright, so now we're all gonna... Oh! We're all gonna dance around chasing the Tracer. The Tracer just drops the pulse bomb and he lands on it. It's so unfortunate. I think we're just holding W there. Fair enough. Good plays, though, switching up. I really do appreciate that. I think we could have probably been okay if he stayed on Doom, but I really do like that this swap happened. That also shows awareness in that you're humble enough to realize the team may need something else, and not just say, well, screw them, you know, I just want to play this. Which a lot of people get into that attitude. So he gets the easy kill on the McCree. Love it. You know, that's a little cheesy, but it works sometimes. Alright, backed away from the mines. Good plays. Ball's getting powered down. It ends up paying off, as it turns out. He knows the ball's going to take routes, and he's just going to block one of them. What was the ball going to do? Stop in the middle of rolling and just go and shoot the trap? Nope, he's never going to do that. That's ball. Just spamming away. Spamming away on low ground, to be fair. He could be up at top, one of the various high ground points. You know, the biggest strength of Junkrat is area denial, right? He's designed to use his arc to his advantage, and there's no reason you have to be down here with everybody else. But he is at least playing with the shield, so I appreciate that. He's waiting for Sigma to push around the car. Sigma sees it, though, so oh well. He's using his mines a lot for, like, traps, which I guess that's a style of Junkrat play. I kind of prefer them for, like, equal parts traps and equal parts traversal, because sometimes you really need to use it as, like, a coach gun, like an Ashe would do, and you get an enemy right in front of you, you drop your concussion mine, you jump away at the same time as you blow the enemy away from you. It's really handy to do that, because it messes them up. You know, they're getting displaced, they don't know quite where they're going to land, their positioning is disrupted, their cooldowns might get burned, and then that's really what you want to do, is you want to get value by burning through the enemy's cooldowns as hard as you can. Because once they're out of loss, all you can do is clean them up. They don't have anything left to push with, so they just die. Okay, we hear stuff going on behind us, up and to the right. This is the kind of moment when, you know, I would have just launched myself up there. I might have actually been stupid to do that. I would have said, I hear there's a Pharah coming. Let's at least get sight on it. So I'm going to mine myself up in the air and maybe mine, and then throw a couple of bombs down at her. But maybe what he did was actually better. Although he did miss with the second concussion in the air, but that's a really tough shot. And to be fair, we don't have a lot. Well, no, that's not true, actually. I was going to say we don't have a lot to shoot a Pharah, but we do. We have a Widow and we have an Ana, and maybe an Orisa if Orisa hits those shots. I don't know if she does, actually. She might. And Hanzo can happen if the Pharah is close enough. So we have some shots here on the Pharah. We just don't have, like, the typical McCree Ashe, you know, hit scan line, which has been recently nerfed, so less than ideal. Yeah, so just powering them away, just putting out tons of DPS into that choke. Pharah actually sees where that where the tire came from, and she's just gonna kill our Junk while he's doing his ult. But no matter, still got 2 kills off of it anyway. That's a trade we'll take, especially because we got one of their supports for one of our DPS. We got a support and a DPS for one of our DPS. That's a big trade. Our Junkrat has gone to being on fire now. Love it. So we watch their health bars go down. Their Pharah's gone. Their Mercy's gone. We're in an up position. We're about to reinforce with our Junk. And I keep thinking he's going to take the high ground, but it didn't even matter. We win. So that's 3 from our perspective. Now let's look at a little bit on the enemy side. I know this video is going to run a bit on the long side. I know this is not typical for Overwatch coaching style videos, but I think it's kind of worth the deep dive kind of perspective. You want to see all of these little plays. At least I do. I think it's worth getting into the nitty-gritty here. So we're going to watch their Tracer first. I don't know if it's worth watching the Ball. It might be. The Ball and the Tracer were probably the 2 of their better players. The Soldier also swaps a lot, so it might be worth seeing that as well. I definitely want to watch one of the healers, though. Maybe we'll watch the Brig, or... Well, I gotta watch the Moira, actually, for reasons. Alright, so Tracer, she's out. She's ready to go. She was smart enough to realize there's a Widow staring right down her barrel at us, so don't rush straight in. Good call. Get this off the screen. She thinks she's gonna engage the Pharah from, like, full distance. I don't know what that was. Thankfully, she then burned all 3 of her blinks. I guess knowing she's got a recall, so she's not as worried, but I never want to burn all 3 of my blinks to engage. I mean, I'm not, like, a good Tracer player, per se, but I at least know... Try and keep 1. You know, you need to reposition sometimes, and in the midst of fighting, you'll usually get the second one back. If I'm just stupid and wrong, though, tell me in the comments. I'd like to hear it. Because I legitimately want to get better, and it's so difficult to get better at this game when there's so many smurfs, and there's so much freaking nonsense going on. I just need every advantage I can get. Yeah, so her engage there is really messy. She's just taking random shots at the front line. And she knows that's wrong, because she's going to dive in a second, but I guess she's just poking to poke. I don't know. Also, I think our Hanzo is, like, locked down the other port of entry there, so... I mean, it's Tracer, though. Tracer's really maneuverable. She could just jump in like she did there. She just doesn't want to... She doesn't want to stick around too long, which is kind of smart, to be fair, because we were killing them pretty fast when they got in. You can get a sense of how much pressure is coming into your team, and I don't know what that was. She just straight up not even looking at us on the front line, just with her back to the front line. What? Don't do that. I get that she wanted to team up and walk with the Brig, but, like, what? I don't even know what's happening here. That's some, like, odd behavior. She just stopped moving again? Just kind of, like, thinking about what to do next? Maybe she's waiting for... No regroup happening. Did she notice the Doom in the corner? No, right? There's no... I don't think the Doom did anything. He was just standing completely still. Oh, yeah, no, she clearly didn't notice him, because she just walks in and then stands still. And then he goes for the punch, but she is smart enough to blink away. Yeah, that'll happen. Alright. Doom's punching stuff. Let's see what we do next. Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, it was a trade, but she did at least kill the Doom. She went real hard, though. And also, our Widow just, like, capped her. I think our Widow's decent, and our Widow is, like, not putting up with that crap. So this is, like, pretty much the play. You can see both of us, the Sigma, myself, and Orisa, the two tanks on our team, are facing toward the choke. This is how you get in and you go do some damage. Unfortunately, she's down to 1 blink, which is not how you engage, so she basically burns her last blink to get in, although the one just came back right as soon as she used it. Now she has no blinks. And she's just in us. She's just... Yep, and then the Doom, unfortunately, freaking dives onto the pulse mine. It's like a soldier about to take a grenade for his team. And, yeah, the whole team turns and just focuses her down. See, this would have been the right play if the rest of their team was pushing in hard, because we would have been too split to really keep up with what she was doing. As it was, though, we could all basically divert our attention immediately, just like what happened with their Reaper before. The Reaper who was Soldier, who is now McCree. Ah, right, this is where the Tracer leaves, which is why we're not getting put onto another hero. That's the end of her. Alright, well, so that is unfortunate. I guess they just got frustrated because they weren't really making any ground. Let's do the Moira now.
4, 3, 2, 1.
So the Moira is, I think, the big weak link on their team, as far as I could tell. I mean, need I say more? Like, we're several seconds into the game, she hasn't moved yet. AFK, I guess? Any day now. Oh, they're fully pushed. Okay, oh, and then we're gonna use our... Okay. That almost is like throwing levels of bad. I don't know what that was. Keeping in mind this person's account level is like 101, so they're a fairly new player. I don't think this is a Smurf at all. Again, not trying to be a jerk to a new player, but like, I don't think you need to know. You need to move when the game starts. That's just how that works. So she's burning every bit of her pea juice. All of it's gone. All of it. Get it all out. Needs a good refreshing Moira P. Alright, and then burns a damage orb into our front line to then fade away. Just holding left click. Just voraciously ridding herself of any and all healing. That was maybe the worst possible set of circumstances that Moira could have done. Other than just, like, straight up just teleporting into our front line and dying. Which she kind of did, too. Like, when you see this now, in retrospect, it becomes much clearer why they were struggling to push, right? It's not that our team was playing exclusively amazingly. We had a couple of decent moments. We mostly played aware, though, is the big thing. And they were down a healer. Like, she's just off on the side, like, wasting all of her P. What? It's so frustrating. I can't imagine how frustrating that must have been. I know I'm putting way too much stock into this. It's not even a comp game. It's just a quick play game. But I'm taking this seriously because, again, I want to get better. I want to use these situations to learn from. This is... That shouldn't have even been that close. Yikes. Doom, what are you doing, man? It's okay. So already, like, halfway through the game, this Moira has not added much of any value to their team yet. Like, there was some incidental healing. Which orb? Which orb? Oh! Love it. Didn't launch it into the ground, either. You gotta love when they don't launch it into the ground. So we've just taken a better position, kind of. What would have been a better position if the whole team was there. They're not, though. So the Moira and the Brig are playing together so they can heal each other, I guess. Now they decide they're going to go over here to the right and go up the stairs, but both of the two tanks, me and Orisa, are just watching them. They can get a couple contact hits there. Fair play. Oh, it's so sick! Love it! And then off goes our Widow. Those are two good shots. I know they were in a constricted space with a forced sightline. Still, the Widow just hit them both. What are we doing? I thought we were going to swap off with 96% to Coalescence. Not that you shouldn't if that's what needs to be done. Don't let that consume you. Do not worry about your ults. Just play the hero that needs to be played. I think Moira is fine, though. What can I say? I mean, heal your team. Heal your team! Alright, Cole's in. Not using it to heal the Brig. Brig's antied. Brig is down. Just completely focused our Orisa, who actually gained health during that Cole usage. Here's how you use Coalescence, guys. You know this already. Stand... Oh. I can't even handle this moment. Stand back from your team. Use it through your team so they get all the healing juice from it and also damage the enemy team. That's the point of it. It's a healing and a damage ult. So... Notice the position of their Mercy coming out of spawn as we are at 8 HP. Hello, this is where you stop and let the Mercy heal you so they gain ult. Oh no, 157 HP when we've chosen to walk all the way back into the spawn, so we get the last 50. Probably gonna burn shift now? No, okay. I thought maybe just use that to get back faster. This is clearly someone who is not a Moira player. I don't know what their main is. It's not Moira. It could be Moira one day. It's not right now. Oh, I was like, where'd that orb go? And she just walked past it, that's all. Yeah, that was the right orb, but way too late. And our Mercy is probably not gonna live. Oh, she gets away. I got nanoed there, so I pushed kind of hard into them, and I think the pressure was helpful. But you see what I'm getting at now, right? Like, this is not as obvious as it seemed at first glance. You can notice sometimes that their Moira's playing a little awkwardly or oddly from the other side, but you're not going to see all of this. Not usually, anyway. I mean, you might if you're incredibly perceptive. But I'm too focused on who's pushing front. Like, I'm trying to keep them off the rest of our team. So I'm not seeing some of this. Okay, huge res. Doesn't res the hog. Instead, well, I don't know if she could have gotten to the hog. Usually, resing the healer is a good call, but you usually want to have a tank to be able to absorb the damage for the healer to heal. And I don't know what this is. We're in overtime now, and we're throwing? I guess we're throwing. Okay, bye. Yikes! That was rough to watch, to be fair. Let's do... I want to see the ever-shifting soldier player now. And maybe this will be the last one. I hope we've learned a little bit from this. And I think it's really helpful for everybody to do this on occasion. Watch back a game from as many perspectives as you have the time to watch. You'll see other people playing heroes that you're not familiar with, and you'll see them doing moves using the map in certain ways you may not have thought of. It's just a learning experience from every angle. And that's fair enough, honestly. I mean, what else do you have to shoot at other than the shield? I'm not sure the soldier has identified, though, that there's a Widow staring straight at him, because, like, this is not ideal, actually. You'd want to be shooting the shield from cover. And unfortunately, the Widow just misses him, well, or fortunately for the soldier's case, and had the presence of mind to target the Widow. Fair enough. Alright, so that disruption from Doom actually was quite helpful there, because it caused the soldier to look slightly around and get jostled. Got a little bit confused. I actually don't know why they swapped off the soldier. I feel like that might have been useful. Maybe they just felt like they were targeting shields too often. I mean, I've been in that case too plenty of times, where you're just facing down shields, and yeah, as soon as you get rid of one, then they're back again. There's like, oh, there's two shields. What do I do? Well, one thing you could have done here is try to take an off angle. Look for a position where the shields aren't. Unfortunately for you, though, I mean, I'm playing Sigma, so I can move my shield around pretty quickly. And I am learning some really cool things about Sigma, really obvious things that I didn't integrate into my thought process at first, which is, when you play Sigma, uses shield as a block mechanism more than like a Rhine shield. It doesn't have a high capacity of HP, but it can get in the way of stuff a lot. It can stop an Ana from healing, it can stop a soldier from pushing, it can just stop side damage from coming in. Just kind of put it out and bring it back. And then let it recharge, and then put it out and shoot it up at a Pharah, and she kills herself, and pull it back. Because if you leave it out too long, it's just going to get burned down in 3 seconds. Do be conscious of that. You don't want to keep losing your shield, because it just takes longer to come back when you do that. Also, I should mention the soldier is level 14. I don't know if that matters. I don't think they're playing particularly well. I don't think they're playing terribly either. They're just kind of okay. Doesn't feel like a Smurf to me. It just feels like a sort of decent FPS player on an early account. And I have been very aware of the fact that there's a lot of Smurfs happening right now because the game is on sale. I think you can get it as low as, like, it's either 10 or 15 bucks. Ah, unfortunate. Almost got the Widow with the Helix. Whenever the game goes on sale, you start seeing lots and lots of low accounts showing up, and a lot of them are alt accounts. Because they really haven't disincentivized this. Yeah, this is, like, it's fine. Just putting pressure on the front line. What can you do? Not using heal station very much. Okay, well, used it just at the wrong moment. And our Ana is too strong. There goes their ball. Yeah, I don't think this person's a Smurf or anything. I think they're just trying their best, and they're like alright at FPS games. But that's like, it's worth mentioning that you can be alright at FPS games, but not know how Overwatch works. And those two things would result in a massive gap in skill. And that's why I always say when people are like, oh, well, having a platinum border doesn't matter at all. It's about how good you are at the game. Like, they're theoretically right, but if you played the game for what would be probably 1,500 to 2,000 hours to get a platinum border, if you haven't absorbed any of that information, I don't know what to tell you. I would assume almost everyone who plays even average, who's played for 2,000 hours, would know some things that someone who's got a brand new account wouldn't. I don't think that's a controversial thing to say. I don't think it's weird to think that. And the defense is just wrong to say your portrait level matters in no way. Your experience is time played. It really is. I mean, playing in different ranks is helpful, learning interactions is helpful, working on your aim is it's all really helpful. But just seeing the game played over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, you're gonna learn some stuff. That's why we're doing this. So what's McCree really trying to accomplish right now? Well, I mean, if I was him, I'd use the McCree to go after the Doomfist. Our Doomfist just swapped to Junk, so unless he's hitting some really solid shots, I would have just stuck with the soldier, to be honest. I also might have considered playing Ashe here. so I could throw TNTs over the shields, because that was not a lot of value right there. Just shot a shield, now it's back! That's crazy! But I'll tell you what would have really messed us up, and I don't know why they didn't come to this with how many swaps they did. Throw a Symmetra into the game, man! I hate Symmetra, but she would have burned our shields down in 3 seconds. It probably would have posed a lot of problem for us, diverting our attention by putting crap everywhere. If they would have used her TP, I mean, we might have had trouble keeping up with their positioning. As it was, they all just kept pushing in right through, you know, the front 2 doors as always, and didn't really have a lot to get us from behind. I mean, the ball just kept feeding and running away, and I mean, the Tracer got in once and then quit. And they have no shield to push with the McCree at the moment. I mean, they do, but they weren't playing with it. And that being Brig, which is not really a shield, so I don't know why I said that. I think I thought they had an Orisa. I thought... Oh, maybe one of them switches to Orisa later? I don't know, I got confused. That was a nice hook, though. Can't fault you for that. And actually, if you're a level 14 and you hit that hook, well done. Like, it takes a little... I don't know. I want to see that again, actually. So you hear my ulti go off now. Oh, I didn't go far back enough. Sorry. I really wanted to see this. It's right when he... Yeah, right here. So he can't see me yet. I'm about to come into view. Okay, he sees me. He has visual confirmation. At this point, he decides I'm going for the hook. Wow, that is... Did that snap? I need to see that again. It might have just been a flick. I think it's a flick, yeah. Let's do... I want to see this at really low speed. I'm pretty sure there was a wiggle afterward. It just... in the instant when I saw it the first time, it almost looked like it just snapped on. Which that would have been horribly sad, but also... Yeah, that's just a flick. Fair enough, good shot. If the Hog had decided to turn on the aimbot, that would have been bizarre. But given that it's a level 14 account, not unprecedented. I mean, when people use cheats, they often tend to buy new accounts for that. Also, a really strange character to use aimbot, I mean, especially when you're just playing 2 characters that people do use it with. Believe it or not, I've heard of an aimbot Moira before. Oh, he's just hitting hooks. Yeah, he is. Good job. Maybe this guy should play Hog more. He seems alright. I think the Echo did all right as well. Like, about as well as the Soldier, maybe. I wonder, should I give you the replay code and you can watch all of this? Like, watch the rest of the perspectives if anybody cares to see it. Like, it's not that this particular game was anything special. It's just... It switched the way that I was thinking about the situation, knowing that I thought I played really well. Realized I played kind of average, and then also my team kind of carried, and our DPS played pretty well. And then they kind of didn't play that well, so it all kind of went in our favor, ultimately. And whenever people are starting to blame their team and getting really toxic and angry at each other, you really need to look at the other perspectives before you really know what's happening. The amount of times that you're going to be wrong, casting aspersions about who did what. I mean, sometimes you just see people screwing around, right? You see, like, a Mei emoting off in the corner, and you're like, all right, I know you're throwing. But a lot of the time, they're not throwing. They're just doing weird stuff, like, for a moment. Yeah, and that's that. Donk has stopped playing Overwatch. All right. Well, I'll leave it at that, then. That is our team-building exercise. I hope you enjoyed it. I'd love to hear your feedback. If you have any interest in me doing this again, it was quite fun. I would enjoy doing this multiple times. If you are an Overwatch fan and want to see more of this type of thing, please let me know. It would be really nice. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care, everybody. Bye.